Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the first locals feature match of 2023. And here we have a very exciting matchup. Two decks we have never ever seen before on the channel. I'll go ahead and introduce the strategies to you guys. On the left, we have Tearlaments Ishizu Crazy Fusion Summoning Tactic versus Floowandereeze, a tactic based around the normal summon technique. Let's get right into it. So we're going to see Tear leading with Instant Fusion, summoning Tearlaments Kit Kalos, or using Tearlaments Instant Fusion, as I should say. Very strong card. Although not that strong, probably could go to 3 Instant Fusion. We're going to see him go ahead and use the Kit Kalos to go ahead and search out Merly. And we're going to see Kit Kalos use its secret ability to go ahead and destroy itself to bring out a Tearlaments from hand or grave. It's going to bring out Merly. That'll sequence a mill 8, where we're going to mill into looks to be double Kelbeck, Keldo, Rhino Heart, a Saranir, Magnamut, Scream, and Tactics. And the Kelbeck is going to allow him to mill an additional 5 cards. So it looks like Chainlink 1 Kelbeck, Chainlink 2 Scream, Chainlink 3 Saranir. So mill 5 off the Kelbeck, add a Tearlaments trap card off of the Scream, and dump a Bestial monster off the Saranir. So he'll dump a copy of Druis Worm, add a copy of Soliak, and then each player, not just himself, each player, of course, is going to be forced to mill 5 cards off the top of the deck. We'll see him hit an Imperm, a Keldo, a Merly, a Perla Rhino, and a Havnus. And for our Floowandereeze player, milling a Ryza Toucan, a Dark Lure No More, Advent of Adventure, and one other card. And this is one of the reasons, I believe, why some Floowandereeze players are moving to different ratios within their deck. Normally, they've only played one of certain birds like Toucan. I think, I'm not a Floowandereeze expert. Deck's brand new, right? First time it's on the channel here. So I think they play more than one copy of those cards. Nowadays, maybe things like Ryza and Toucan, just, going to a matchup like this against this Tearlaments Fusion strategy, they have more than one copy available, because when they lose things like Rise of the Graveyard, I don't think they really have a way to get them back. We're going to see him fuse for Roll Kalos, using the Kit Kalos and Fusion into a Mud Dragon, so now has protection from targeting. We're going to see him use Perla Rhino. That's going to go ahead and get ashed. Really hasn't had a good chance to ash his opponent up until this point. So my man Tiny on the right here is going to throw the ash on the Perla Rhino, and I think that's fine. It's going to come off from an extender. He's already used Merly and Havnus this turn. I was going to say maybe he could hold it for Sprine, but Merly's Graveyard Effect to Fusion Summon, of course, has already been used at this point in time. The only other avenue I could see him taking maybe here is going a Link 2 for this interesting card called Sprite Elf, which might as well be called Tearlaments Elf, if you ask me. Same thing with Sprite Sprine, Tearlaments Sprine. Same thing at the end of the day. They really just tried to make it look like Sprite support, but it was really just propaganda at the end of the day, folks. So he'll end on Rule Kalos. The Soliak that was searched earlier, which we know to be basically like Imperm, the cost of dumping a tier. What a horrible cost to pay, right? And we also know that he has at least one Shuffler engraved setting 2. One looks to be Imperm, so the Shuffler is not really finding too much value in this particular matchup, which, I mean, must be nice, right? The only decks I've ever played recently just absolutely get destroyed by the Shufflers, and that's just always great. But before he moves into the end phase here, well, maybe in the end phase, we're going to see him use Magnamut. That'll trigger its effect. End phase, add a Dragon. It's going to go ahead and search out a Druis Worm. Won't find too much value out of that again in this particular matchup against the Floowandereeze deck. But, it's just pressure, basically, to try to, push next turn, essentially. Or maybe something like make a Beatrice, right? So we'll see what happens here. We're going to see Dark Ruler No More from our Floowandereeze player. Board breakers in the main deck, no surprise. Floowandereeze definitely needs them. Things like Evenly Match and Dark Ruler in the main. We're going to see our tier player respond with Soliak. And then responding to the Soliak, we're going to see him chain the Elf, responding to the Soliak. Not responding directly to Dark Ruler. So we'll be able to get that extra body out onto the field, just as a free card to be able to send off now for Soliak. When he eventually does use that to negate something, he can proc an effective fusion, and then of course they'll allow him to use Perla Rhino to get an additional pop. Now, seeing our Floowandereeze player here wanting to dig a little bit deeper, maybe trying to find some more board breakers. Very, very, very expendable extra deck here. So able to go ahead and banish 6 pretty much at will. I mean, granted, there are a few cards in the extra deck that do come up Floowandereeze once in a blue moon, but when they come up, they come up. We're going to see them reveal Robin, M-Pen, Apex Avian, D-Shifter, I think it was that was a toucan, I think. Stree is engraved, I think that's what he milled. We're going to see him grab it evenly as the 6th. That's exactly what he needed to see. And one thing about the tier board is it doesn't really end on Omni Negates outside of Tearlaments Crime, which, I mean, is still pretty good, to be fair. Can be searched very easily. But there's no... Well, I mean, I guess they can also make Baron, too, but Baron has kind of fallen out of favor with Orange Light being limited. You know, people not playing Diviner as much, but I think Diviner is still an absolutely crazy card. And I think, I could be wrong. Somebody could correct me on this. The deck, you know, Tearlaments is still really new. Definitely not overstaying its welcome in the current format. Definitely not doing the same thing in the OCG. But, you know, Baron's a pretty crazy card, you know, so that doesn't omnigate that the deck does have, you know, access to, but not 100%, you know, turnover. So we're going to go ahead and see what looks to be our tier player activating Keldo here before they leave the battle phase, or the main phase, rather. Just recycling some cards here, since, again, the Keldos really don't find any value here to hinder the opponent. And then Solic getting popped by Perlarino. That'll trigger Solic to search. And then, okay, I was going to say, the Keldo makes much more sense here as to why I did that. Trigger the Perlarino, pop the Solic. You know, getting as much value out of the few cards he had left there before they evenly resolves, and it does definitely resolve. We're going to see a Pot of Duality fire now. Pot of Duality is going to reveal a Prosperity, an Ash, and another M-Pen. M-Pen being very loyal. He's like, please take me, I'm the biggest bird. But we'll see if he actually gets took. In this case, there is an Imperm in the back line, and there also is a Havness in hand that was searched, so our tier player still definitely has a way to play here. Even through Dark Ruler evenly, we will see him take the Ash. The Ash can now directly counter the Havness that we know to be in hand. Now he just needs a solid normal summon here. Robina would be really strong, but again, Imperm is there to check it. So it could be Imperm, Robina. You need Advent on top of that, but it looks like he doesn't have any other plays to make there. It looks like he just has the Ash in hand, what looks to be another Duality, and I think either an Imperm or an Evenly. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's Evenly, or some other trap card. I can't necessarily tell what it is from this angle, but he does not have any birds to be able to play with there. He had to take the Evenly off the Extravagance, or off the Prosperity. Could not afford to take the Robin. Definitely would not have played out in his favor there. We're going to see our tier player fire out a Bestial to get things started, and applying a little bit of pressure here. They did lose quite a bit of steam after that evenly match the previous turn. So trying to recoup here off very minimal resources. And yes, they do have a tier in hand, but it's Havness, one of the weaker, if not the weakest tier to have by itself, especially if your opponent isn't already doing anything. Kind of just sits there and just becomes extra dead. So we're just going to see him go into battle phase, swing in for 25, end phase, Magnum up. We'll go ahead and search Saronir, and we're going to see our Floowandereeze player draw for turn, set a card, and pass. Very, very unfortunate. Might have just drawn into another hand trap. And we're going to see our tier player draw into a Merly. Saving grace here. Normal summon effect to mill 3. New age card trooper, basically. But it's level 2 now, which I guess is also kind of insane for other sets of reasons. But we're going to see that Ash go ahead and check the Merly. Keep me off of a play. But he does have, you know, Sprite Sprine available, because that is also a card. Tearlaments Sprine now being summoned. I'll use Tearlaments Sprine effect to go ahead and dump a copy of Merly, and that effect will go ahead and resolve here to go ahead and fusion. And Kit Kalos has been put back into the extra deck alongside that instant fusion at 1, by the way, into the deck. So we'll be able to go for a Kit Kalos effect. And yeah, this is where things start to snowball out of control. Once that Kit Kalos resolves, it is game over. We are into a game 2 situation. Guys, quick reminder to check out Imperium Duelist. They have come out with some brand new products. They've just released a brand new version of their Imperium backpack. I got mine in the mail today from when I'm recording this. I gotta say, I love the new design. It's fantastic. It's much sleeker. The look everything. Same great features the other backpack had, a little bit bigger. Love it. And they also are coming out with a new sort of vintage theme playmat, kind of similar look to Spellgrounds and things like that. Looks very, very nice. If you guys are interested in picking it up, check out their site down at the link below. And don't forget to use my discount code WinterKill sign off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process anytime you guys buy any of their amazing accessories / gear. Also, don't forget to check out my TCG Player affiliate link found in the description of all my videos. Again, down in the description below. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel and comes in very, very clutch. So we're going to go ahead and see him resolve the Prosperity and the Duality. Going ahead and grabbing some key cards there, one of them being the Floowandereeze and the Magnificent Map. Using its effect here, revealing the Eaglin. And I imagine he'll just banish Robin off of this if he doesn't already have Robin in hand. So he will go ahead and banish the Robin. Normal summon the Eaglin immediately. Chainlink 1 Eaglin, Chainlink 2 Robin. So the Eaglin will go ahead and, of course, grab the M-Pen. And then he'll normal summon the Stree. Stree is going to go ahead and banish the Prosperity. And then he's going to go ahead and normal summon the M-Pen. Chainlink 1 M-Pen, Chainlink 2 Eaglin to go ahead and add itself back. And we're going to see him go ahead and add the Floowandereeze and the Dreaming Town. Basically another way to proc their ability to normal summon on their turn, on the opponent's turn rather, without needing things like map. Now it has the ability to conduct another normal summon here because of the M-Pen. So we'll go ahead and normal summon Robin here. That'll trigger Robin to go ahead and grab the Eaglin, or not the Eaglin, sorry, the Wind Barrier statue, which is going to be even more of a problem now going forward with Kashtira coming into the meta with their new round of support from Photon Hypernova, thanks to Raid Raptor Arsenal Falcon. That's right, this rank 7 the deck can make can just summon out a level 4 or lower wing beast from the deck, and Wind Barrier statue fits the bill. So we're going to see him end on M-Pen, Dreaming Town, Map, Robin, Wind Barrier statue, and one other set card. Could be an Imperm, could be a side deck card, could be an Advent of Adventure, could be a funny trap card by the name of Harpy's Featherstorm, which fits right at home here in the Floowandereeze deck. We'll see what our tier player has to try to combat the board. We can see him activate Lightning Storm, and in response we see him chain. He must have called back row there, chaining both Harpy's Featherstorm and Dreaming Town, and that is just going to be a wrap. Is not able to play without monster effects for that entire turn. So Floowandereeze taking it rather quickly there in game 2. We head into game 3, and we're going to see our Tearlaments player go first. They went up 2 copies of field spells. They have a copy, well, 1 field spell, rather. Wait, did that Pearl Rhino? I could have swore I saw Pearl Rhino, but they opened Instant Fusion again. They're one of because they're just that good. Who needed like easier access to get Kalos? I mean, come on. They really, the tier deck was struggling so much. They honestly just bring Instant Fusion back to 3. I mean, honestly, the deck's inability to make Kit Kalos sometimes is really just embarrassing, really. So we're going to see him go ahead and Instant Fusion out for the Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos effect, go ahead and search out Rhino Heart. He does have Zombie World in hand, and we're going to see a casual Mill 8 here. The Merly Kit Kalos combo, getting Medora, Havness, Rhino Heart, Gamma, Kelbeck, Driver, rip that card, and Foolish Burial and Pearl Rhino. So 8 cards off the top, finding Havness, Kelbeck, and Rhino Heart. All pretty solid mills there. Milling additional 5 from each player now, hitting a Havness, a Kelbeck. Set rotation as well, I assume, to get easier access to something like Zombie World Post Side, which is like the premier side deck card against Floowandereeze, is it makes it very difficult for them to play. They can still normal summon all their little birds, but they cannot tribute summon for anything unless it is a zombie type monster, which means no M-Pen, no Ryza, no real way to, you know, break an opponent's board or set up a really powerful board of your own. So the Spell and Trap hate for the Floowandereeze deck going into a game like this is probably very real. I do see a Cosmic Cyclone in our Flu player's hand, so they are strapped and equipped to deal with a zombie world if they need to. And on a new chain, we're going to go ahead and see our tier player here probably decide to use the Havness that was milled. And they will use Havness. They're going to go ahead and fuse off with the Kit Kalos and the Havness for a copy of Rule Kalos, I imagine. Going for Drago Stapelli. I guess Rule Kalos doesn't really... Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of fair, actually. Rule Colossus doesn't make really any sense in this particular matchup here, because they're never really going to be special summoning. Because I think Rule Colossus negates an effect that... negates a card that includes an effect that would special summon a monster. Yeah. So, Dragostapelia making a little bit more sense here. They did not decide to use the Rhino Heart, probably because they did not have a tier in hand. They have Kelbek Mudora, or Keldo Mudora, rather, in the grave, which, again, really only serving him a service right now, serving him a benefit right now, because, you know, the graveyard effect of those cards aren't going to really be too clutch against Floowandereeze. Again, we talked about this already. No really high-value targets to put back into their deck. Unless there was a... Maybe they could shuffle back a Dreaming Town, but, you know, that's wishful thinking, I guess. We will see, though, an evenly matched try to go through yet again. It's going to get negated by Crime. They do have the Crime this time around. And that will go ahead and allow them to send off a monster to go ahead and negate. And shuffle it back in. Now they're going to activate Cosmic Cyclone, now that the Crime is out of the way. That's going to clear the zombie world. Lightning Storm is going to go ahead and get rid of the Dragostapelia, getting rid of all of the interruptions right now. And all I see is a Wind Barrier statue, a Dreaming Town, and one other card. So we're just going to see him go ahead and set the Dreaming Town. Very, very unfortunate for what Floowandereeze player. They do not have that much engine going for them. And we're just going to see our tier player go ahead and recycle a lot of very powerful starters right now. Instant Fusion, Terraforming, Pearl Rhino, Rhino Hearts, putting those all back in the deck in hopes that they can draw one of them, now that there are higher counts of them within the deck, to be able to make a play here off the top. Because they really don't have much going for them right now. I believe Murley obviously is only on summon, so yeah, they need any one of those starters. They have talents and they draw the Pearl Rhino. There it is. I mean, they did put back a Terraforming and a Pearl Rhino, right? They did increase their chances, technically, of seeing it. So they were able to get that Pearl Rhino activated. Will resolve here. And our Floowandereeze player is not completely out of the woods, you know, out of the running yet, I should say. And he's going to go ahead and use the Dreaming Town to go ahead and bring out Wind Barrier statue to basically cancel out the Haveness effect. Unless, of course, he's got a wind monster he can fusion summon into, but odds are he will not. And basically going to, you know, negate the Haveness graveyard effect and being able to fusion summon. Chainlink 1 Haveness, Chainlink 2 Dreaming Town. Dreaming Town will resolve to normal summon out the Wind Barrier statue. Haveness will no longer be able to resolve because, again, no winds to be able to go into. So just going to resort, going to the battle phase, attacking over with the boosted up monsters. And main phase 2, linking into, I think, what will probably be a copy of Tearlaments Sprined. See, Tearlaments Sprined effect to go ahead and dump a level 2. Basically just send Tearlaments Murley to the graveyard. That's what that card does. It either sends Murley or it sends Angler. That's really all Sprined ever does. And then we're going to see him go ahead and fusion off with the Murley and Haveness. Going for Kit Kalos, most likely. Kit Kalos effect here will trigger. And we'll see what he wants to go ahead and send. So you could send something like Heartbeat and add back the Crime. And then Crime can negate by getting rid of the Kit Kalos, and you can mill 5. But I guess Solic also does the same thing. Although Sully can only interact with monsters. Which, you know, again, might be all he needs there. Has the map plus Robina, but not much you're going to be able to do there through a Solic plus a mill 5 from Kit. So that's going to do it. Huge shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Ponystar, Cadillacs 84, HEH Cyber, and Misfit. Thank you guys so much as always for showing me kind and very generous support of this channel.